You call for cutting the federal budget, as you just said, by $1 trillion, roughly 25% of the budget in the first year. You say you would balance the budget in 3 years. Spending would be 15.5% of GDP by 3 years. That's the last time it was that low was 1951. Question, even the conservative American Enterprise Institute says those kinds of dramatic short-term cuts would send this country back into a recession.
You know, that's exactly what they said after World War II, and they cut the budget 60%, and they cut taxes 30%, and we released 10 million people from the military, and we finally had an economic boom for the first time since the 1920s. So no, you shouldn't fear freedom and free markets and letting people spend the money rather than the government. If you take all these resources out of the hands of the government, that doesn't mean that money isn't going to be spent. It means that the individuals are going to be spent. Maybe we could create an environment where people would start investing again and building automobiles and whatever they need to do. But it's where the money's spent that is so important. It's not like we take it away. We put it into productive use. When government spends this money, it's non-productive. It goes into bureaucracies, it goes into regulations, it goes into subsidizing corporations that don't deserve to be subsidized. It goes to bailing out people. No, that's all wasteful spending. That damages the economy. You want the money to be spent by individuals and business people, not the government.
But I think we would both agree that there are some legitimate functions that government can perform and that no one else can. And let me ask you about some of your cuts, which may be more controversial. Again, let's put them on the screen. You would reduce funding for the National Institutes of Health by 23%. You would reduce funding for the Centers for Disease Control by 38%. What specific programs would you cut, Congressman?
I would eventually try to wean ourselves off, because these are functions that are not properly authorized by our government. But wait, let me just pick up on that. I mean, you don't think that the government has a role in trying to do research to try to find answers to new diseases or diseases, or to check, for instance, the Centers for Disease Control if there's an epidemic sweeping the world? Well, if it's international, yes, and if it's people coming in, yes, they will have some responsibility. But when it's R&D and how this money should be spent, unfortunately, it's spent for political reasons rather than market reasons. So when that happens, the lobbyists come in and they line up in special drug companies. The drug companies are very much in favor of this, but the decisions are made by politicians and bureaucrats rather than by the marketplace. But you want more R&D. You would have much more R&D, and it would be better directed if investors and the market makes these decisions. Because believe me, the politicians and the bureaucrats aren't smart enough to know exactly what you should be investing in and which immunity you have to give. All these decisions are made. When government makes a mistake, it hurts everybody. If a businessman makes a mistake in R&D, it hurts only that company.